Hi, I'm Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV. My channel is dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse get free and stay free. I just want to take a moment to thank you guys so much for all your continued support, your subscriptions, your thumbs up every time you share a video. I appreciate it so much. Your comments mean so much to me, and I want to thank you for your donations to the channel. There's a comment under one of the videos today from Lindsay29. Lindsay wrote, "Hi Kim, do you ever have days when you miss the narc so much and truly wish things had been different? If so, how do you deal with those thoughts and days?" I want to talk about that today. To answer this question for Lindsay29 or for anyone else who's watching this video and missing their narc today, I have to go back. Way back. Now, keep in mind, I've been free a year, and by the time I left, I was bloody glad I was going. But right back to where the first real interruption to the relationship came in. Now, that was at about 1 year. Now, everything had been perfect. Absolutely perfect. The love bombing was continuing. I thought I'd met my soulmate, my twin flame, the man of my dreams. And then all of a sudden, and I'm telling you, Trevor didn't hit the shit list gently. He hit it hard. He ended up having an affair with his biological sister right in front of me. And by right in front of me, I mean I walked in on them. So the thing hit the wall very, very abruptly. So, of course, I left. My children and I had moved in with him, my dog Scout. So I had to pack up my stuff, move my kids out. I had to rent another place, trucks, moving, help with moving. Tremendous expense for anyone who's moved. This is not an inexpensive endeavor. And I was brokenhearted. I was confused beyond belief. I could not for the life of me get my head around this. Had it been another woman, no, I don't know that I would have understood it. But the fact that it was biological sister, holy shit, my brain had exploded. I mean, I was shaking. I was sick. I was an absolute shambles of a human being. With it going from great and not slowly petering off, just bam, hit the wall, it was over. And of course, he never validated how I was feeling. He never apologized. All he said was I was just a crazy bitch, right? That I had been seeing things, that I was making it up. Like what I had seen somehow was a hallucination. And with all of that, of course, when I left, I guess I believed very much that I missed him, but now in retrospect, I think that what was happening to me is that I was just mentally, physically, spiritually overwhelmed, absolutely overwhelmed. And the fact that he had never validated how I felt about this or had never apologized, I guess there was like an open hole, an open wound, an open sore that just wasn't healing. And because it was Trevor that caused the open sore, I guess at the time, in all my delusion and madness and hurt, heartbreak, I guess I believed that since Trevor inflicted the wound, it was Trevor who would ultimately heal the wound. So I guess I misinterpreted all of that for missing him. Now, trust me when I say, if you walk into your own bedroom, in your own home, where you live with your children, and someone who you believe loves you very much, and you actually see them having sex with their biological sister, well, you can't unsee this. Once you've seen this, this just like burns in your retinas, like you can never unsee it. And of course, I was rocked to my core. But instead of being met with an apology, some sort of explanation, I was called every name in the book. I was told I was absolutely sick in the fucking head. I needed medication. This accusation was, oh God, it launched such a gaslighting, such projection onto me. It was absolutely mind roasting. I can't even describe the emotional, spiritual, mental, physical state I was in. My hair was coming out in clumps. My nose just never stopped bleeding. My hands shook. I was stuttering. I was losing weight. And I'm going to tell you, I'm a fairly tall woman and I'm very thin. I don't really have, a lot of weight to drop. So very quickly, I started to look really sick. Like the way I was feeling was definitely reflected on me physically. This lack of validation, is a real trap. And I think it was the lack of validation, the lack of an apology, is what I misinterpreted for missing him, because I definitely did believe I missed him at the time. Now, of course, years have passed. I've been long gone and free, living in another province, a year now. So I'm thinking in retrospect, to address this question, I don't know that I missed him, because to tell you the truth, when I left him, it's because things had absolutely fallen down the rabbit hole so deep, a gutter so dark and so deep that I barely crawled out of the gutter to get out of there. So no, I don't think I was missing him. In fact, I believe I was relieved. I think it's this lack of validation, this lack of an apology, this lack of compassion or understanding for what they've done to you that leaves this longing. And I think for me, it was this longing that I definitely misinterpreted as missing him, because God damn it, I went back, like 8, 9 times. I think the average is 7. And I think it was that longing. He'd do this horrendous stuff to me. I would then have to put out, God, thousands and thousands of dollars to move. And this happened pretty frequently, like maybe 7, 8 times in a 5-year period of time. And you're going down for thousands and thousands every time you move. So there was all this other stuff going on. At the time, I really did believe I was missing him. And of course, as soon as he hoovered me, back I'd go. But I'm telling you, this lack of validation, in my opinion now, I swear by it, this lack of validation is one of their tools, one of their tricks, the way they leave the portal open. When you're desperate for validation, when you're desperate for an apology, for some understanding, you just want to, know what the fuck happened. You leave the door open. It's not until you've recognized this shit show's got to stop, you're shutting the door, you're going no contact, it's over, that you're free from it. Like there's this sense of freedom from it. I guess over the other times, like the 7, 8, 9 times I went back, I had intentionally left the door open, hoping something would change with him, something would break with him, where he would see what he had done to me and possibly apologize, try to make amends, something. No matter how badly they've treated you, when you just can't take anymore and you leave, ultimately, in their minds, you've narc injured them severely. So when they hoover you back, it's not because they want you back. It's just to torture you because you left. And the reason you left is because you were being tortured. You see how many times the word torture comes up? It's fucking torture. It's just looping and repetitive torture. So to answer your question, Lindsay 29, the answer is absolutely no. No, I don't believe I ever missed him, because when I consider why I left those 7, 8, 9 times, it was under tremendous emotional strain, stress, abuse, depression. He was physically abusing me. He was spitting on me. He was devaluing me. He was cheating on me. He was triangulating me. It was horrendous, absolutely horrendous. I do believe it's that lingering need for validation. For God's sakes, we're human beings. Someone treats you that way, there's a natural need for validation. I think that's what we're confusing for missing them. Once you finally close the portal for abuse, things start to look very, very different. I'm Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV. I hope you guys are having a great narc-free day. Love you guys lots.